नमस्कार, मैं हूं आपके साथ रेशमा। आइए आपको सीधे लिए चलते हैं बेंगलुरु, जहां इस वक्त इलेक्शन कमीशन की प्रेस वार्ता चल रही है।
More than the male voters. So that is what our request to our women voters here also to participate in the forthcoming elections more and more. The senior citizens and PWDs, you would be happy to know that from 2018 we have laid special emphasis that nobody should be left behind. So number of 80 plus electors is 12.15 lakh. And similarly, the persons with disabilities, this is also increased to 5.55 lakhs, which is close to 158%. So this is our concern that every person with disability should be empowered and come to the voting station. For the first time, as you all know, we are going to provide in Karnataka the facility to all the 80 plus voters and also the PWD voters, if they so desire, to vote even from the comfort of their home. Our teams will go. There is a form 12D which will be available within 5 days of the notification, so that any 80 plus citizen voter or the PWD voter desirous of voting from the home because of certain reasons, we will facilitate it. Though we would encourage them to come to the polling stations, because that's the real festival of democracy. And many of them want to come. That's our experience in the recently held elections. But still, those who cannot come, they will be facilitated to vote from their home. And all the precautions would be taken to secure the secrecy of the vote. The political parties, candidates would be informed in advance. They would be allowed to go. The entire process would be videographed, so that nobody can say that at the home you have taken vote this side or that side. So it's a totally transparent system of voting, and I'm sure the people will take advantage of this. All political parties and the candidates would definitely be informed whenever there is a movement for the voting at the house. The facilities to senior citizens and PWDs further at the polling station would include, will provide a wheelchair to everybody, will provide priority in voting, pick and drop facility, dedicated parking, and there is a new application, IT based, mobile based application we have made, the PWD app called Saksham. All the persons with disability can log in and book the facilitation they want at the polling station. They can tell us in advance if they want a help, a volunteer or a wheelchair or something. And there would be braille ballot facility also for the visually handicapped, visually persons with disability. Inclusively, if we look at the inclusivity of the elections, our special focus is now continuously on connecting with the youth. We'll dwell on this a little more. You would be again happy to know that within a year, because of the special focus, the number of first-time voters in the age group of 18 to 19 has increased from 4 lakh to 9 lakh 17,000. This is our effort to involve all the young voters into the process of elections. It is now actually their responsibility. It's appealed to them through you that all of them should come and vote in the larger numbers. More so, what we have started doing is that if somebody is becoming 18th next year, whosoever is 17 plus, we have also enabled that they can file advance applications. So we already have 1,25,000 applications which are advanced. And this is first time happening after the 4 dates, qualifying dates have been enabled by the legislation change. And because of this again, if earlier the cutoff date was 1st of January. So if somebody is born on 2nd of January, he'll have to wait for 1 year. Now, out of this 1,25,000 advance applications, there are 41 and 432 applications of those voters who would become 18 by 1st of April 2023. Meaning thereby, they would be able to participate in this election. This has happened because of the amendment which has been enacted in the law, that there are 4 qualifying dates, and these 41,000 voters would be enabled on 1st of April to cast their vote and participate in the democracy. Though it's a big cause of concern that young voters these days are not coming to the voting stations, to the polling stations so much with so much of enthusiasm. 2 things are happening which we are concerned and are also trying to tackle: the urban apathy and the youth apathy. We had a session in the Indian Institute of Science yesterday. We addressed the youth there. It is in their interest, it is in the interest of democracy that the youth come, and also the urban areas. Just to say in a lighter vein, the time spent on the social media by the youth, if even 1,000th of the time is taken out, it takes much lesser a time to put a button on the ballot unit rather than on the social media pads. So I am sure they will come out. Friends, there are 2 particularly vulnerable tribal groups in the state of Karnataka. The Jenu Kurba and Koraga tribes. We have taken special efforts this time. This is again an inclusive part of our electoral roll. Both the PBTGs have a population of 30,517, and all of them have been enrolled as the electors this time, 100%. And there would be 40 ethnic polling stations also in tribal areas for the PBTGs. Similarly, the transgenders. There are 42,756 transgender in the state, and we have registered 41,312. Every person has a right to vote and participate in the festival of democracy. So the women, youth, urban areas, PBTGs, old age, transgender, everybody is a focus of the Election Commission, that everybody participates in the election. I'll now give you this was the electoral part. I'll give you an overview of the polling stations. The total number of polling stations in the state is 58,282, with an average voter per polling station being 883. We will have, as a part of our empowerment, as I mentioned recently, we will have 1,320 booths which will be managed only by women staff, all women. Similarly, 224, one in each constituency booth would be managed by the persons with disability. So it's not that they are dependent on us, they will show that we can also equally perform, and we will manage the entire booth. This is our small tribute to them, to show and make them empowered. And through the process of this, the entire society becomes fully sensitized towards the needs and towards the appreciation of the PWDs. We have also started that in order to address the youth, whosoever is the youngest employee of the government, we are setting up 224 booths to be managed by our youth employees, young employees also. 50% of, as of now, 50% of the booths would be direct webcast. The sensitive booths have, I'll tell you about the sensitive booths also. There are 1,200 critical polling stations. Of those, there would be either webcast direct, or there would be a micro observer. So in somewhere, or there would be CAPF. Either of the 3 as an added precaution, seeing the sensitivity of those elections. Cumulatively, they would be managed by an extra sense of precaution. Just to show you some kind of attempt we would be making to make the polling stations very friendly, your voting experience being very conducive and in the true sense of the festival of democracy. This is to enhance the voters' experience at the polling station. Just a glimpse will be, our DCs will be doing, setting up polling stations, model polling stations to facilitate the voting. As regards the assured minimum facilities, each polling station would have facilities of drinking water, electricity, ramp and toilet. And since it would be heat time also, they would also have shades. Commission has also started a new staking endeavor. We are taking it on ourselves again to say that the infrastructure in the schools should not be of temporary nature. You see, this is a wasteful expenditure that every time election comes and in the schools we create temporary infrastructure. So we are emphasizing that now the infrastructure in the schools would be permanent. And we are hopeful that in Karnataka, the infrastructure in terms of drinking water, electricity, ramp, toilet would be of a permanent nature in all these schools. So that's a kind of a gift of the election to the schools, to the students. They have separate toilets, boys and girls. They have ramp, PWD students have ramp. So this is also one, and which they are in any case entitled to have under right to education. So we are trying to enforce this so that all these schools have these permanent infrastructure and we don't have to create all the time some kind of temporary infrastructure. About the urban apathy, this is not a very healthy sign. If you look at the data, in 2018 the average voting in Karnataka was 72.44%. And in 2013-17, 1.83%. And look at the urban areas of yours. BBMP South, BBMP North, Central, Bangalore Urban. Lowest voter turnout in these districts. So we are taking special efforts, special sweep activities, special promotional activities. This includes this has the combined factors of urban apathy and also the youth apathy. And unfortunately, this decreased from 2013 to 2018 across these four constituencies. Say for instance, it reduced in urban Bangalore from 62% in 13 to 57% in 2018. So we are confident that with the help of you all, you will also help us in spreading this message to the urban areas, including yourself, all of you. So this is the trend which we witnessed in the recently held elections also. We saw it in Shimla, we saw it in areas in Rajkot. So we are constantly bringing it to the notice and to the fore as a discussion point amongst the youth and amongst the urban areas to sensitize them that it is their duty and it is in their interest that they participate in the elections. So I am sure that you would convey this message of ours to this slide. We are keeping it a little longer so that you can absorb it and get it absorbed further. It's India's IT hub, and actually the IT hub of the world now. The message given by everybody from Bangalore has a potential and has a ripple effect that if we can put here, other urban areas of the country would all follow suit. We are very confident that this would happen this time here. We yesterday met large number of CEOs, university vice chancellors, professors, students, and we really saw a kind of enthusiasm in them. That yes, they have not been exposed to this kind of apathy earlier, so they realized, understood that the issue of urban apathy and youth apathy is mainstream now. It's in a discussion. It's on a discussion table. So I am sure that this will happen. And in this way, we also started an election hackathon. A hackathon, we are saying, it's light of this. We are thankful to the Institute of IISc and also Triple IIT. They are doing it for us in collaboration with them. So the questions which are being set in two phases. The first phase starts and will end till March 10. It started from 10 and for 21 days, which would be how to enhance participation of urban and youth voters. So it's everybody can participate in this electhon. Kindly, my request is to popularize it. We want to get as many suggestions and solutions from the enlightened people of Karnataka, so that it can spread into the other states also. And how to ensure registration of new voters in a better way. Though our apps are very apt, but still if there is a scope, and devise solutions that can boost voter turnout on election day. So our request to everyone here, with the help of the enlightened voters, to suggest us so that we can improve these participation, not only in Karnataka, but follow this in the other states also whenever we witness these kind of apathy. Friends, being in the IT city, I will mention about the IT applications of the commission, which can be used during the polling, during the election. Anybody can check his or her name on the electoral roll in this helpline application, which is a very handy application. You can know your booth, you can connect to your BLO, RLO, you can see results, you can see all election trends, you can find about EVMs, whatever you want to know. It's a voter helpline. Please find time to go through this, it will be helpful. The next is Saksham. This is about voters interface. The Suvidha is for the interface with the political parties and candidates, so that candidates don't have to run here and there. They can file nominations and affidavits online. They can also seek permission for rallies and other things online. And we have directed all our DCs, all our DOs, AROs, that the permissions for the meetings and other rallies and other entitlements would be strictly on first in, first out basis, so that there is a level playing field available. Whosoever applies for a land first, whichever candidate will get it first, so that there is no